Everyone, how's it going? Part 2 of the NieR Automata Rerun Collab, whatever you call it. So, today, it's been a week since the last one. I've had a lot of testing with 2P. She's pretty crazy, so we're definitely going to be talking about 2P and have a look at her later, but first of all, the main focus of this stream will be about the new Shift 9S unit. It looks quite interesting too, so we'll have a look at him in a second. So this is part 2 of the NieR Automata collab. There is going to be, next week should be the time trial, I believe, and then the week after that will be the slime collab. So that's going to be quite fun, I think. So 2 collabs in a row is going to be quite interesting. Let's have a look at 9S first of all. He's quite an interesting unit, honestly. I'm quite impressed with how they've brought these units into this game because they're both unique and they just both seem pretty good. 9S, if you don't know much about 9S, since I've played the game, I can kind of tell you about what he is. He's basically like a more of a support scanner type. He's basically a scanner type android, and he usually just goes with 2B and basically supports her. So he's going to be probably more of a support unit than a typical DPS, but I think his damage is definitely there too because the flight unit is a battle suit thing, so it's basically like a 9S is a support unit inside of a battle suit. That's kind of what I think, so let's have a look at him first. Flight Unit Ho229 Type-S, long name. I tried to fit the whole name in the title for the stream, but it was too long, so I just put Shift 9S just to make it a lot easier. The bunker arc is here as well, so this is the same arc. There isn't going to be another arc in this collab, which can be a good and bad thing. Good thing being you don't have to worry about pulling for 2 arcs. Bad thing, you could just get the dupe of the arc when you've already gotten it, and that'll suck. So I don't really need to talk about the limited arc this time because it's the same one, but I will still talk about it a little bit because I've had some testing with both 2P and the bunker arc. So let's have a look at Flight Unit Type-S. Looks pretty great. He is like a mecha type unit. That sprite right here looks pretty massive, and it should be because they are pretty big. Kind of like it's pretty cool. Like these flight units, they're pretty cool in the game, honestly. They can like transform, kind of like Transformers. They can go between this kind of mech suit and like a ship thing, so they're pretty cool. Stats, first of all, they look pretty great. Look at those stats. 1,899 strength, amazing. 1,100, well, 11,000 HP, 1,500 defense, 1,500 mind, 1,100 intelligence. That's just a lot of stats. Like, the stats on him, pretty amazing. Attitude resistances, minus 22 ice, makes sense because he's a fire unit, so kind of basic. Weak to stun is a big problem, but we've seen this on Murrant as well, so I guess for a mech unit it's not a surprise because machines and the mech type units are usually more vulnerable to stun. Kind of makes sense. So that's something you definitely have to be careful of because stun is like the worst element, because if you get stunned you literally can't do anything at all, so that's pretty important to have some resistance to stun. So I would definitely recommend to at least put stun nil or stun nil plus res, and then you'll be at stun nil and then you can't ever get stunned. That would be great. Depends what content you're going into though. If you're going into like a boss battle which doesn't inflict stun, then it doesn't really matter anyway. But in places like arena and guild battles, I would definitely recommend to get that stun resistance up as much as possible. That would be quite important. Nil to curse, pretty good though. That's gonna help. And resistance to illness, they're good, so his only weakness is to stun, which is fine. So his abilities, I believe what I've heard so far is all of his abilities are long range, which is great. All of his skills, I'm pretty sure are non-line of sight. I haven't tried him yet. I haven't really looked too much into him because I wanted to wait for the stream, because I like doing that. Skill 1, long range frontal fire combo attack, just kind of a basic attack. We'll have a look at the hit counts later because I don't quite remember the hit counts, but they're okay, I think. Skill 1, just a basic long range attack. I like long range DPS units because staying far back, not getting hit, and using all your attacks is really useful. Skill 2, long range medium area fire combo attack around target. Twin missile pod, so it kind of shoots out missiles, is pretty good. His skill 2 looks pretty fast, and his skill 2 could potentially be his best skill, but we're gonna have to try that out. Skill 3 is an interesting one. Beam railgun strafe. It's kind of like a blade that shoots out wide area fire attack around the unit, and then it's followed by a long range frontal fire combo attack. So to get all of the hits of his skill 3, you kind of need to be close to the enemy, but it's not super important, I think, because you could just stay far back and just use your skill 3 anywhere on the map, and you're still going to be hitting them. It's just you're not going to land all of the hits, which, if you care about his DPS, then you probably do want to be close range. And his special isn't anything special. I've said that before, but it's nothing crazy. It's just a fire combo attack to all enemies followed by a powerful combo attack to one a target. It's not really anything to talk about. His special is not going to be his main focus, but he does have one skill in his skills that is focused on special damage, but I don't think his special is going to be that amazing compared to other units, so I wouldn't worry about his special at all. Mostly just focus about his skills 1, 2, and 3, and let's have a look at the traits, because the traits definitely get a lot more interesting. There's some stuff here that I definitely want to test. When an ally is skill attacking, excluding the unit, then it deals a powerful medium area fire support attack around allies target. So this is very unique, and it is kind of similar to a counter in a way, like the mechanics of counter and this, it just reminds me of it a little bit, because like has a chance to do an extra attack. So in a way 2P and Shift 9S kind of similar, but not really. It's not a counter. This fire support attack is on a timer. It says won't activate for a set time after activation, and won't activate when unit is incapacitated or fainted either. So this fire support attack isn't a physical attack. It counts as a arc skill damage, I believe. At least that's what I've heard. So you can't increase the damage of this from a physical skills, which kind of sucks, but at the same time you got to think that is a good thing, because in PvP enemies won't be able to resist this damage because it counts as arc skill damage. So similar to counter, counter is its own damage type, so physical damage mitigations won't apply. So this should be doing quite a good amount of damage, I think. If you increase his fire damage as much as possible and just all of his damage, then this fire support attack could be amazing, and I definitely want to try this out in like a full focused damage build focusing on this fire support attack, because that could be pretty good. But I don't know, I haven't seen much gameplay of it yet, but to me this fire support attack sounds like it could be pretty good, and I definitely want to test it. Just remember, anything that increases fire skill damage or physical damage or special damage not going to apply to this. The only type of damage modifiers that apply to this fire support attack are going to be either damage dealt is going to apply to this, or fire attack damage. Those are the only ways that you can increase the damage of this fire support attack, so one thing to keep in mind is quite important. And continuous speed effect. I don't know why he has speed in his kit, honestly, because he doesn't really need speed. I mean, the only benefit I can think of is you can get closer to the enemy faster to use your skill 3 to get those hits off faster. You know, that's a good thing, but... And the other good thing is running away from the enemy faster is a good thing, but he doesn't really need speed, so it's like, it doesn't really matter too much. One thing I want to say quickly about his trait 1 is if you look at it, it doesn't really give very much to his kit. The only thing this trait 1 is giving is the fire support attack and continuous speed. So like that trait by itself is just focused on the fire support attack, and you've got to hope that this fire support attack is strong, otherwise it's like one trait completely wasted, you know. But I think it's good. Let's try his trait 2. So trait 2, yeah, seems like it's going to be more focused on damage. When equipped with only one weapon, fire damage 30% and damage cap 25,000. So good thing about this is fire damage, which means that will apply to his fire support attack. So his fire support attack will get 30% more damage and 25,000 damage cap. Basically everything that does fire damage on this guy is going to get that boost, so that's pretty good. Battle start, boost HP cap by 5,000 and restore HP. I like that, honestly. Makes him a tiny bit more tanky. I mean, it's not a big deal, honestly, but it's just nice to have. Permanent until unit is incapacitated, makes sense. One thing I like about this trait is the final part here. Regularly give all allies a damage cap plus 4,000 against most numerous enemy type buff, randomly chosen when equal. So, reason why I think this is very good is because it's a damage cap buff to all allies, which means damage cap means any type of damage at all, magic, physical, counter, skill, special, anything, every damage is going to apply to this, so that's great, which means that you could put Shift 9S with 2p and 9S will be able to give 4,000 more damage cap to 2p's counter, which isn't really a big deal, but you could if you want to, just for fun, maybe. But yeah, I definitely think this trait for that 4,000 damage cap by itself is great, because one thing I want to compare it to is like Lelouch is kind of similar in a way. He's got damage and supportive skills, but I definitely think Lelouch is a better support, at least so far from what I'm seeing. Lelouch seems better, but Lelouch has a similar damage cap thing where he's got 4,000 more damage cap, but it also gives skill and magic damage as well on top of that. But instead of the damage from Shift 9S, he just applies the damage cap to everything, so I think it's good. It's pretty nice. So yeah, I think the traits are okay. Like, it just feels like there isn't much here focusing on damage, if you really look at it. Like, from his traits, he's only getting 30% more fire damage, and that's it. Trait 1 doesn't give any damage, it's just for fire support attack and speed, you know. The trait 2 is good. It's like support, damage cap, more HP, and some damage cap and damage. It's okay. Like, they don't sound crazy, but I think most of this is relying on how good the fire support attack will be, so that's really going to be down to testing, and hopefully it's pretty damn strong, because it could be. Like how strong 2p is right now. We'll talk about that later. So, his skills, he is a scanner type, like his trait 2 is called scanner type, which is a support android, so he does have Magic Castle 2 and Grand Fort Phaser, which apparently Grand Fort Phaser is a new one that we haven't seen before, but I mean, Grand Fort Phaser isn't a big deal, honestly, because if any unit has Auto Fort or High Fort, does that even exist right now? I don't know, but it's something, I guess, that useful to have as a support unit. You could just make him a full support, and here's what I'm thinking, is you could just make him a support and focus on the fire support attack, and then someone else like Claude will be able to do all of the damage. That sounds really good to me, because him as a support might be okay, especially if you focus on his fire support attack, because this will be doing extra damage, and he'll also give everyone 4000 damage cap to everything, and he should be able to survive a decent amount. And he also has Magic Castle 2 and Grand Fort Phaser, so there's some potential there that he could be a support unit, potentially, maybe. HP up max, Heroism up 3, Royal Armor, good stuff. Machine Buster makes sense. 2P also has this, but all of the NieR Automata Collab units do have Machine Slayer of some type, so it makes sense because they're all about fighting machines, so makes sense. Auto Brave, Auto High Protection's very nice. I don't think he could be a full tank, but you never know. Probably not, you know. Auto High Protection still helps though. Auto Haste, just nice to have. Fire High Drive, so this won't apply to his fire support attack from his traits. It's only fire physical and special damage, but the fire attack rates 2 and 3, both of these are going to apply to his fire support attack, so if you want to increase his fire support attack as much as possible, then you would want to put on fire attack raise 1 as well, and that will help a little bit, and potentially fire critical raise, potentially that could help too, but that's a bit expensive, and I'm hoping his fire support attack will be able to crit as well. It should be. Don't see any reason why it wouldn't. Have to see though. Ayla Victory, don't really care too much about that. Maglion makes sense because he is going to be a long range damage unit, so just more damage when he's far away, but that does kind of clash with his skill 3, because if you want his skill 3 to have, if you want all of the hits of his skill 3 to hit an enemy, then you have to be a bit closer to the enemy, so you're losing out on damage from this if you're closer, but it's not a big deal. I think most of the time you're just going to be far away and using your skills. Long range attack breakthrough 2. Basically just boost damage cap based on the distance. Maximum of 2000 when you have only one weapon, then it's a maximum of 4000. It's okay. One thing I want to mention quickly right now is his damage caps aren't crazy. They aren't very high, so you may think his damage in DPS isn't going to be that great, but it really depends on how fast his skills are and potentially his skill stocks as well, because if he has fast skills that can be spammed very fast, then the damage cap doesn't matter as much, you know, because we have units like Ryvern who has very high damage caps, but his skills are pretty slow and they don't have high hit counts, so that's why his DPS is kind of terrible compared to other units like Claude, and 2P is pretty high DPS. So it really depends on how good his skills are. Less speed, he didn't really need this, but more speed if you care about that. Shockwave, I like having, just in case, it's okay. Favored Sword is going to be great. More physical damage and damage cap. Makes sense that a single build unit would have this, they kind of need it. Two-handed machine boost and two-handed machine boost 3. Now one thing I want to mention is there isn't a two-handed machine boost here. He has two-handed machine boost and boost 3, but no two-handed machine. You should have two-handed machine because two-handed machine is from the songstress arc from this collab, which you should have gotten by now, because that is the main arc that you should be trading for, because that's like the most important thing from the Redux banner. So you should have two-handed machine from that arc. If you don't, then just get it now, or if you're waiting to use your tickets first, then that makes sense, you can wait, it's fine. Machine boost, okay, he doesn't have machine mega boost or anything like that, which is weird. He could have had machine giga boost or something, but I guess most of his boosts are on the two-handed machine boost instead of machine boost. It's confusing with all these names. Armor HP plus is going to help. More HP is nice, especially since he's got good HP anyways. Special boost 3, decoy, I like decoy, concentration, whatever. And then the unique skills down here. So OS chip, don't need to say anything about this, we've seen this on all of the NieR Automata Collab units, it's just more stats and that's it. Same with this, every NieR Automata Collab unit has this as well. Scanning analysis. So this one's a new one for him. When hitting an attribute weakness with a physical attack, damage cap 3000. Non-attribute weakness, physical attack damage plus 30%. So pretty sure what this means is if you're hitting a weakness, you're doing more damage cap. But if you're not hitting a weakness, then you're going to do 30% more damage instead. Which I think that's good. That's just a little bonus. That's fine. Nothing crazy, but nice to have it. And then we get into the plug-in chips. So this is for his special damage. So if you have this plug-in chip as the only one equipped, then 120% more special damage and 50,000 damage cap, which sounds amazing, which it is, but his special isn't that great, so I wouldn't recommend to have this on at all, because the other two plug-in chips are probably better. So I would, in most cases, I'll just remove this unless I was focusing on full special damage, which I probably won't, but maybe his special will be okay, but I think his hit counts for special is like 48 or something. I don't know exactly, but it's around there, which isn't that high, so don't focus on a special, just remove this. That's what I think. Range defense. I think this one is going to be his main one that you want to use. When taking physical / magic attacks, cut damage based on the distance. So if you have this as the only chip equipped, then minus 40% maximum. That's great. 2 goes all the way down to minus 15, and 3 is minus 10. You know, the difference from 1 and 2 is quite big, so I think you've either got to go with 1 or nothing at all, you know. So last one here is an interesting one, but we've seen this on other units before. There's probably Bradley or someone has something similar. When at least one ally is alive, auto-revive and restore HP by 50%, a set time after incapacitation, based on number of plug-in chips, skills, sets. So if this is the only skill equipped, then 10 seconds, 2 is 30 seconds, and 3 is 40 seconds. So this sounds good, right? But here's why it isn't. Because you've got to wait 10 seconds if this is the only plug-in chip that you have equipped. So let's say you've only got this plug-in chip equipped. You've got to wait 10 seconds for him to auto-revive, which is okay. But the thing is, it's kind of useless, in my opinion. Because in Arena, never gonna happen, because it takes 5 seconds for the unit to revive anyways. So, useless in Arena. Guild battles, not really, because you're usually gonna have a healer in the team. So, using a healer with some kind of revive skill, you're probably gonna revive them before 10 seconds anyway, potentially. But I could potentially see this being useful in guild battles, but I personally would probably rather have this instead, which is minus 40% damage taken from physical and magic attacks. I would much rather have this over reviving after 10 seconds, you know, because this is keeping him alive, and this is just hoping that after 10 seconds he's going to revive, you know. You're better off trying to keep him alive instead of hoping for this. And if you're against a boss, you're most likely going to be running a healer with a revive skill, and you can just instantly revive him. So this kind of isn't very useful in most scenarios. That's why I don't really like these types of skills, which auto-revive the unit after a certain amount of time, because after that time, they're probably revived anyway. So yeah, I think his plug-in chips aren't amazing. I think the only one I'm going to use is the plug-in chip range defense. I think 2P's plug-in chips were way better than this, but yeah, I would recommend just to put range defense on, because taking less damage, 40%, I just think that's the most valuable out of all of these three. Support up, scatter, and support up output. So these two are probably going to buff his support attack from his straight 1, I believe. So this one boosts the attack hit count 1 to 5 hits random, so it just gives it more hits randomly, which is fine. And then this one gives it 100% more damage and 10,000 damage cap, which is good. That's great. Amazing. 100% more damage, just doubling the damage, or adding 100% more damage on top of it is pretty nice. So, sounds very good, honestly. And then you get more damage caps for his skills, very nice. 3,000, so 3, 6, 9,000 more damage caps, okay. And then less physical damage taken. So, looking at his skills, I think what I'm seeing here is, yes, there's a lot of supportive skills, because NieR is a scanner type which is supposed to be a support type android in the game. So it makes sense that he's going to be more of a support type unit, and for that reason you shouldn't worry too much about his damage and his DPS, because I don't think he's going to be a main damage dealer in your team. I think you're going to be running him with another physical damage unit in the team. I think that's the best play for sure, considering he's got this support attack from his trait. I definitely think the best way to use Shift 9S is to focus on his support attack from his trait 1 and build him as a support, and not worry about his physical DPS, because I don't think his DPS is going to be that amazing compared to other units we've got right now. But I could be wrong, because his skills could be incredibly fast and they could be spammable, but we'll have to try that out very soon in a bit later. But for the moment, I think his best use is going to be focusing on a support, and I think that's going to be okay. He does have some damage, so he can do some damage. I think his skills are going to be okay, but if you look at someone like Garland, he's a dual wield unit, and you thought he was going to have good damage, but he doesn't have any damage at all, so he's mostly just a tank now. I think Shift 9S definitely going to be more of a support unit. That's what I'm seeing right now when I read all of this together. There isn't that much damage if I really look at it. Most of it is supportive skills and allowing him to survive. But things like Auto Brave, these fire attack skills, Magellan, Shockwave, Favored Sword, this stuff does increase physical damage, so that can help with that. But that's kind of it. So honestly, there isn't too much to help his damage, so my expectations from him, without really looking at him too much in game and testing him, at the moment I think his physical damage isn't going to be amazing. I think it's going to be kind of average or below average, and I don't think his DPS is going to be that crazy either, because he doesn't have that many damage focused skills. I think he's mostly going to be a support unit, and if you focused highly on his fire support attack from his trait 1, then potentially he could be doing good damage from that as well, and supporting the whole team. Even though he doesn't support the team a whole lot in PvP content, apart from his fire support attack, I still think it could be okay. Like, you can just put on anything you want on him, like you could put God Heal or whatever, and it could work. So that's kind of what I think right now. And as you know, units that are support units and have buffs that are unique, those types of units last a very long time, and Lelouch is the main example of that, because he's a machine type, he has very good supportive skills, and he is a top tier unit that is going to last a very long time. So Shift 9S isn't on the same level as Lelouch, but he is different because he does have the fire support attack, which is very unique. So this is something new that we have never seen before, so this could be very good. And apart from that, looks okay, honestly. Like, there's nothing crazy here. A lot of it's going to be down to testing and how good that fire support attack is. I've seen a tiny bit of it and it looks like it's pretty strong, but I haven't really seen gameplay of it in PvP content yet, and I've got to do testing myself on that to really understand and realize how strong it's going to be. I do have a few ideas for how to increase his fire damage, but I think I will talk about that once we get him, because that's probably the best time to talk about it. The bunker arc, I'm not going to showcase again, I'm not going to review it again, but I will at least tell you of what I think about this arc now that I've tested it. So this arc trait, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am really enjoying this arc trait, honestly, because this can help 2P a decent amount, because I've been using this trait on Renner, using it as support arc trait, and then the Captain Duties buff can apply, that can go to 2P, which gives her enemy attention drawn +1 and less physical magic damage -20%. So I've been using that arc trait just for that buff alone, and that buff alone, since there's a unique icon, I think it's really good. And if you add the other things that this arc trait has, I mean, it's okay, but I think the main use for this arc trait is definitely the Captain Duties buff. So that Captain Duties buff is amazing, and I really like it, especially since it synergizes quite well with 2P, because you want her to be hit, and this could help with units like Jian, because female tank units like Jian and 2P can't really get more stacks of allure, so it's hard for them to get more attention drawn because they're female, and it's a lot easier to get male units more allure stacks and draw more attention than female units. So the fact that you can put this buff on a female tank like 2P or Jian, very valuable there. These skills, the main skill that I've been using is solid counter, and I have found this to be quite useful on 2P, so this arc is actually very solid, and if you do get it, it is a very good one to have for sure, and I will be using it quite a bit. I think it's quite a good arc because the arc trait is amazing for the Captain Duties buff. The solid counter skill, you're only going to use this on 2P for the moment, unless there's more future counter units coming, but we don't know that yet. I expect there should be, but for the moment, solid counter is only really useful for 2P, and I have seen that proc a few times, and it's definitely quite useful. My 2P hasn't fainted yet, so solid counter is very useful for 2P. You'll have force I haven't used, so the main use that I've been using this arc is for the Captain Duties buff. I didn't get this yet because I didn't feel like I wanted to use it yet, because it's mostly focusing on a full machine type team. So yeah, that's kind of what I think about this arc. It's very good, but the main use, like I've said many times already, Captain Duties buff, very useful if you can take advantage of that. It synergizes incredibly well with 2P, so the bunker arc with 2P, very good, especially on your attack team in arena. Spoilers, amazing, because drawing more enemy attention to your 2P so she can counter is just perfect. It's so great, it's amazing. We'll probably talk more about 2P later once we get to it, but yeah. Bunker arc is very good. I've done testing on that already. Shift 9S looks very interesting, but it's going to be down to testing to see how good he is, but I think the potential is there with him as a support unit, and with his trait 1 support attack, I think it could be pretty good, and there are some synergies, and could be very strong. I'll probably talk about it later once we get to building him and everything. So we'll do summons very soon. Let's go to the trading space next and have a look at his paid equipment, since I haven't seen him yet. I assume they probably increase his fire damage or something. Medals are there. So he's got a machine and armor, which makes sense. So railgun, fire machine, weapon, makes sense. Just add strength. So the traits, boost damage based on physical attack distance. Maximum of 25%. You know, that has me thinking. It says boost damage based on physical attack distance. So I don't know if that means it applies to all damage, because it says boost damage. So, but it says based on physical attack distance. So that may just be only physical damage. I'm a bit confused on that, because it's giving me mixed signals. Like, it says boost damage, but it also says based on physical attack distance. It could have said boost damage based on distance, and then that would have meant it boosts all damage based on the distance from the enemy. But since it says boost damage based on physical attack distance, that may just mean only applies to physical damage, which is gonna suck, honestly. Hey. So the rest of this trait, when only one weapon is equipped, fire attack damage 20% and damage cap 3000. Okay, I get it. I see. So this is a pretty solid machine, honestly. I think what I'm reading is going to boost physical damage based on the distance a maximum of 25%, and then the 20% fire attack damage is going to apply to his support attack traits, and the damage cap will also apply to that trait as well. So you're getting at maximum 45% physical damage, which is great, especially for a weapon. That's amazing. And then 20% more damage to his trait for his support attack. Amazing. And I'm pretty sure it's like a 1.2 times modifier, which is even higher than like plus 20%. So sounds amazing to me, honestly. I think this machine is something that's worth having if you're going to focus on his support damage from his trait 1. Then that machine is definitely going to be something you want to try to get. Only if you want his support attack from his trait to do insane damage in like PvP content, but I don't know how viable that's going to be. So his armor, 1000 HP. That's great. That's funny. Okay. Defense mind. Okay. So, magic attack damage taken minus 20%. Okay. Good. I like that. Boost support attack buffs from the skill support up. Output more damage 20% and damage cap 3000. So yeah, this is just only boosting the trait again. Okay, well, I see what they're doing. That makes sense. So it's boosting his traits support attack only 20% more damage and more damage cap only of that attack, which okay. So here's what I'm thinking though. Both of these are solid. This weapon is definitely better for damage overall, but this armor allows him to take less magic damage as well, so... But, like... I think that the sword is definitely better, because if you look at it, fire attack damage 20% and damage cap 3000. This one is just support up, output, more damage, 20%, 3000 damage cap. It's the same damage and damage cap, but only applies to the support attack. But the sword, the machine weapon, is fire attack, which means it applies to all of his fire damage, 20% damage cap, the same. So I would think his paid machine weapon is a lot better, but they are both good, and here's where it gets a bit more situational, is it depends on your account and what you have, because if you don't have good armors available, then this would probably be the better choice. But if you don't have really any fire machine options or no machine options, then you should probably get this one instead. So it kind of depends on what your account has, but I definitely think this machine's better choice for more damage than this one, but they're both solid. I think I would want to get both. If his trait 1 support attack is very strong, then I would definitely want to have both to increase that damage as much as possible, but it's not something you need. We'll look at alternatives once we get to building Shift 9S, but at least what I can think of right now for armors there's only really things that can decrease physical damage taken, which could be a good alternative, honestly. So you don't really need this armor. For machines, there's a couple, maybe like 1 or 2 fire machine weapons, but there aren't really that many. Other machine options would definitely include Trishula, and that's probably the only thing I can think of right now, but yeah. You decide. I think the machine is better, honestly, but it probably depends on what your account has, but I still think the machine's probably a better choice. But if you've already got a good machine, then you may be better off with the armor, but I don't know. I think the machine's better, so I'll probably pick that as my first choice. So yeah. Here we go, 3 more tickets. Event trading space, make sure to get those tickets and everything. I'll do the rest later. Let's go over to summons now, because I definitely want to get Shift 9S, because he seems like another very interesting, unique unit that I definitely will try out. And if his support attack from his trait can be very strong, then I'm super excited in that, because I think that would be amazing and potentially could synergize well with like 2P or something. So we're just going to start off with tickets, and then we'll do step gacha and see how it goes from there. Definitely need the luck, because the only thing we need from this banner is just Shift 9S. Don't expect any reds from these 5 singles, or these 5 pulls, but I'll watch it anyways. No animations. Yeah, just skip that one. I called it before it even showed up. And then we'll do this temple. I haven't gotten anything from tickets yet. It's probably still going to stay the same way. Maybe. There's a gold, which is a better sign, but it's not always, because I've been trolled many times before where Tharia showed up with everyone else, and it being a gold, usually 90% of the time it goes up to a red in this scenario, but there's a few cases where you don't get any animations and it just stays gold, so keep that in mind, that it could happen, and I'm not going to be disappointed if it happens. Well, it can't happen now, right? There's 3 animations, there's guaranteed red at this point. If there wasn't a red, I'll be super confused. The only thing we're looking for is units, and a new one at that. Obviously it's not going to be here yet. 2 units. The worst thing we can get is a dupe of the bunker arc. That's the worst thing, because that is something we don't need at all. Which banner would I rather pull on if you had to choose between part 1 and part 2? At the moment, definitely part 1, I think, just because 2P seems amazing so far, and I do want to talk about her a bit more later, and try her out in arena and stuff a little bit. This one's probably just going to be a skip unless it looks very promising, which it may do, but like I said, this is the same scenario. Everyone showed up with the gold, but the animations are 1, 2, there's a red. That's surprising. Not new? Oh, that's sad. We don't like seeing that. That's the worst thing ever to happen. I kind of knew that would happen. I just was hoping that it wouldn't. Yeah, nobody's showing off. I'm not going to watch that. There's definitely nothing in there. We're still missing 1 arc, which is the SSR arc from Logya's Shift Logya's banner, so if we get something new, it's not going to be guaranteed Shift 9S, but it's more likely going to be. Look promising, please. Zekis is not as promising. That's even worse. I don't have any hope for this one. Just check out the animations. 1's not enough. I'm just going to skip it then. Yeah. You know when you've done so many summons that you can predict how good the summon's going to look just from the animations and stuff alone. Yeah. So the plan for the moment is going to be Getting both paid equipments. There's a blue, that's terrible. Getting both paid equipments and just getting Shift 9S, and then hopefully now, no red. There is a red, okay. Don't be an arc, please. Be a Shift 9S, it's not going to. It's another dupe, obviously. You can always expect dupes. Anytime you get something new, it's always exciting, but not always. I would like to get Shift 9S as soon as possible, because I don't want to pity. Don't like seeing Zekis unless that's a blue. I don't have hope for this. We'll watch it anyway, but I don't think this is going to be no reds. Yeah, nothing. Knew it. We'll get the 50 credentials, and then do some free crystals, and see how it goes. I would like to get him, like, right now. Right now. Please, game. No, it's a Zekis, and don't be a blue. Oh, I'm not enjoying this. I'm just gonna skip it. Or not. There's a small chance of a red, but it's not gonna be guaranteed. There's one. No extra animation on top. Still one at the bottom, really. Nice dupe. Damn it. How many credentials do we have right now? We done 1, 2, 3. So we should be at like 41. If I do one more here, then we'll have 51 credentials, I believe. And if we get 9S in this temple, oh, why do I keep seeing this? Zekis with Lilibet and a blue is the worst. I mean, 3 animations, last time it was a red, so are you gonna do it again? That doesn't make any sense. I made a note in my brain that this makes no sense. Because that was literally the exact same scenario, the exact same animations, everything. But last time we got a red and this time we didn't. Doesn't make sense. Well, let's, I don't know, do singles until we get him, I guess, for a little bit. See how long that would take. I do have a few. I don't want to spend all my free crystals. I at least want to try to save 90k, or at least 80 something. And then at that point, I would probably just be wanting to pity him at that point, but I hope it doesn't come to that, because I would really like to have him right now. Please, now, do it. Show up on the screen. You need to. Now. I'm just waiting for it to show up. Now. No. Blue. Well. 2P's luck was decent. This. Just have to see. If we don't get him very soon, then it's probably going to be quite bad. And we'll probably have to pity, but I really don't want to. I haven't seen a red in a while. Can you at least give one red? No. I'm gonna see who shows up. If there's a Tharia, then it's better luck. No. Well, 9S, where is he? I don't know, he's gone. He flew away in the flight suit thing. Where's the reds? I at least want one now. Right now. Just a red. Doesn't matter what it is, what it does. It matters a lot. Very much. Yeah. Well, in a second, I'm gonna go and check the trading space to see how many we've done. Because I don't remember how many we've done. I just want to check, make sure. And then we'll come back to this and probably get him. I don't think the game wants me to have him. And they want me to pity, which sucks. Because I don't want to pity. I have no reds in the past like 2 or 3 10 pulls. Equivalent. Which sucks. A lot. So much. Way too much. Only golds and blues. And more blues and golds. And no reds. This one. The rear. Be a gold. Yep. That looking better. But I don't have hope because it could still be a gold only. Because the animations is 0, so there you go, there's a gold. I told you. I told you that could happen. That's why I don't like seeing animations sometimes, because it just does that to me. It's terrible. Red? No? I don't think we're gonna get him from 3 crystals. Let me just check how many we've got left, because I don't remember. I definitely think we're below 90, yeah we are. 87, sure. I could use a few more potentially. Try and get him from 3 crystals, I would like to. 78, not the worst thing ever. We can get these 2 now, which is good. That's great. Don't need to worry about that. So I think if we go till... if we get 100 medals, then we can get a 10 pull ticket. Now, usually that would be something I shouldn't do, but because we're probably going to end up pitting him from this step gacha, I think it would be better to get those tickets. Get that 10 pull ticket, and maybe you can get something from a 10 pull ticket like a Shift 9S. Or from the single pull. So now we're at 80. This is 80. Number 80. I'm gonna do a 10 pull. And we'll get him from this one. This is 90. First time I'm actually counting. Okay. Not gonna be trolled a second time today. Okay. Nope. I knew it. Knew that would happen. We'll do one more. I'm just gonna skip this one. Actually, I won't. I'm not gonna. This 10 pull means we get an. I'm skipping this. Not worth trying. We get a 10 pull ticket. Yeah, I have my plan now. We'll get a 10 pull ticket. We use a 10 pull ticket. Get nothing. And then just pity him from step gacha. That's the plan. Because it's gonna end up happening, isn't it? Yes, it will. See, I don't get every single unit in this game, just sometimes it happens. There's a 10 pull ticket. But I just really like this collab. It's my favorite collab, so I have to get everything from it. And I still think Shift 9 is going to be a great unit. So, let's get him from his ticket, shall we? No, we're not. There's no way. We're not going to be able to pull him today. We're going to have to get him from the step gacha instead. Nope. Well, I tried. But the ticket strategy doesn't work for me this time. We'll just get him from step gacha now, because I must save the rest of my free crystals. It's just the smarter play, because you could end up just spending all your free crystals hoping to get it. So, a smart idea. I believe I should have enough paid crystals, I think, but I don't know. Red, gold, 2 people. I don't have any hope anymore, so surprise me. But in a good way, not a bad way, please. Doop, 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 doop. I knew that would be the case. Yeah, he's not gonna show up in these summons. I may be yeah, I'm like short of 33 crystals. Well, that's unfortunate for me. I thought I had enough of this, but I guess I didn't actually count them, did I? No, I should have done that. Another gold. Well, it looks promising again for the, like, 5th or 6th time today, but when, well, I've gained knowledge from that temple. I'm gonna have to get more crystals, I think. I thought I had enough. Yeah, I'll have to skip through these, because I don't think there's gonna be anything interesting. I knew it. Yeah. We don't have any luck in this. We're gonna have to pity him, which sucks for me, but whatever. It happens. It sucks, but it happens. I still think it's gonna be great, and it sucks that I'm so short on crystals right now. Skip that temple. Oh. Well, I can do one more temple and then I'm short from 33 paid crystals. Why is it 33? I feel like that should not be a thing. And there's no reds in here either. Oh, look. Ah, I thought that would happen. I really did, and it happens. Well, it's a good and bad thing. The good thing is that I got it now, but the bad thing is I don't have him yet either, so like 33 crystals. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some more. So, I'll have to press this magic button somewhere and just get them so then we can get him and end this. Then you can see what my background looks like. Yeah, I know, it's pretty crap. Could just stock up on crystals right now for the slime collab. Maybe. So, what we're looking at. Right, that's fine. Where is it? Hang on. So that is 10,000. I'm gonna need a lot more than this, but for the moment it's fine. So I'm not gonna worry about that for now. Let's go. We don't need to watch this because we know what's in this temple. We do. This temple gives 9S at the bottom, right? Here. Yeah, that was dumb. Well,
Usually we can't get near flight units.
they're way too expensive for us grunts. Yeah, they're expensive flight. See, he says that they're expensive, but in the game, they go around destroying a bunch of these, and it's like they get given these flight units way too often, even though they're expensive. Supposed to be. Well, that's done. Now we don't need to do any more summons until 2 weeks. And hopefully it can be better luck than this, but I'm just glad that Tenpool didn't give 2 copies of him, because that would suck way too much. So, it's alright. Yeah, I've been building her a bit, getting her to level 120 very soon, and Sarah. So let's start having a look at Shift 9S, which should be fun. I don't have every skill learnt on him yet. I was in the middle of doing that.
Yeah.
But I didn't finish doing that. He's pretty cool. Yeah, I can go to the trading space. Yeah. Go to the trading space, I should be able to get... Yeah. Well, there's a good and bad thing. I mean, I wasn't gonna get prisms, but it's fine. Okay, now we go to the Steam version before I forget. And then we can try him out. The plan is to build him, get all of his base skills. I can probably do that. Oh, I did the wrong thing. Hang on. Very small screen right now. Right. I can just... Good enough. Right. So, let's try him out. Soon. For the moment, we need to build him. I'm gonna be using another one of these stupid Christ stones, just because it saves so much time for these.
Talk about easy.
610 more XP. Great. You know, account levels are kind of useless for me at this point, but they're just bragging about your account level. Kind of the only positive thing.
Leave everything to me.
I thought 2B also said that as well. Okay. 5th enhanced skills. His ward is interesting. Less magic damage taken, minus 1%, whatever.
Much appreciated.
You know, these icons all look like that he would be a light unit. Like, these are all light. You would think they would be light. That would have made sense. But he's fire, for some reason. Which is fine. I mean, the element isn't really a big deal most of the time. If it was light, that would have been cool. But it doesn't really make a difference. Twin missile pods.
Much appreciated.
The one thing I'm happy about is they finally made a 9S that is strong, because as you know,
Much appreciated.
the first version of 9S was very bad because he was a free unit, and it was very sad because 9S... oh. Need more books. Well, that's weird. Never thought I would need more books. 9S is a very strong unit in the game. He's arguably probably the strongest character in the game, but they know that 2P and 2B are the main focus, the main character that people like the most, so obviously they're going to focus on 2B and make her as strong as possible compared to 9S, probably. So I just need books, which is fine. I should make sure I have a lot of these, honestly. That should be good enough. Yeah. There we go. It's fine. And I can get these. Beam railgun strafe. So he has like a melee attack in the game. This is basically the equivalent to that. That should be everything for the moment. Yep. So let's awaken. New port just opened. And then one more for the moment. And then we can have a look at equipment and stuff now. His stats are still pretty strong. I don't even have equipment on him yet. So let's have a look. Just his base skills for the moment. I don't have Honey Elixir yet, which is fine. I've got full charge, apple pie. Fine, I could do that. So, he is a single-wheeled unit, and he uses one machine. So if I were to look at fire machine options, you can see we don't really have any at all. Obviously he's paid. Ragnar Blaster, I believe is from a UR arc. Should be. Yeah. It's okay. This one, kind of terrible, honestly. I'm definitely going to be putting on his paid one, for sure. But alternatives, you may have to not use a fire machine and probably something else. Like, I think majority of people are going to be using Trishler instead, which is an okay option, obviously. That will allow him to be used in any content you want. And any other options, hardly any. I mean, you could put on Mecha Cannon Veldis if you really want to, but it's not the best option. Tech Blade Loop, actually decent. Could use this, maybe. Maximum plus 30% more damage, and he's a long range unit, so you could do that. And I don't really see anything else here at all. So, yeah, that's probably the only choices we've got. You could equip a sword, but I don't recommend it because he does have machine equips, machine boost. But let's at least have a look, because there could be something for fire attack damage, but I don't think so. Yeah, don't really see anything interesting enough for me to want to use instead of machines, so up to you, but I would definitely recommend probably Trishula as a free-to-play. That's kind of your best option. Like, there isn't really any other options. You could put on a sword, but that's only if you're not going to be using him as a physical DPS. Up to you. For armors, you can equip clothes and armor. Like I talked about this a bit earlier, the main options will be like this one, if you've got it. This one could be a good option too, for sure. Decent one. This one's not bad either. More critical damage. Critical damage cap, take less damage from crits. It's nice. You could use that. And then apart from that, this one's a maybe. You could use that if you want. And that's probably the only options I can really think of, because these are the best ones up here. Down here there isn't really anything interesting that I'd recommend at all. So, at least put on one of these if you've got any one of these. You should have this one, hopefully. If you're a newer player, you probably won't, because those clothes are from a SSR arc, so you may not have it. This one, most of these are Godforge, pretty much all of them are. I'm going to be putting on his paid one for now, because that's definitely very good. Both of his paids definitely synergize very well with his support attack from his trait. Now, accessories are where it gets a bit more interesting, for sure. So, I think increasing his fire damage is going to be the best play. Anything here? Machine equipped, more skill damage and movement speed, you could put that on if you want. That one's only fire physical and magic damage. If only it was all fire damage. I believe there is one, I think. And it's right down here. This one. This one's good. Probably use that, because it will apply to his trait. I'm trying to find as many ways as possible to increase his damage from his trait support attack. because that might be pretty strong, might be pretty good, and it just sounds pretty fun to me. Depends how it performs. This one, very nice. If you're hitting absolute weakness, then this one's definitely going to be a very good increase to his support attack, so a good option here. Anti-type damage isn't really going to apply to his support attack, so it's mostly only if you're using like a shiftalizer in the team or something to reduce their fire resistance, then you could use that. And that's kind of it for damage. Other options, it depends on what build you're running on him. If we're using him as a support, then it doesn't really matter as much. I would definitely recommend to increase his stun resistance, so things like this would be amazing to use. Like, if you've got this from Holy War, then that's really good. Black Diamond's pretty good too. Both of those give stun resistance, so could do with one of those. That's kind of the only options I can think of right now. But yeah, all depends on your build. Right now, I'm going for full damage, but you don't need to. I think for now, which one should I put on? I think I'll put on... Doesn't really matter too much. I'll just put that one on. That's fine. Not perfect. This won't be my final build. This is just for the showcase for the moment, but yeah. Some decent accessory options, honestly. Weapons, there aren't that many options. Armors, there are a few options, so I think if you were to choose one of his paid equipments, it would probably be the machine, for sure. Because that just seems like the best one, so we'll go with that for now. To test him out in a second. And then we'll put on full charge. And just see how he does like this. So his stats right now, okay, not terrible. Give him 4 prisms. You know, the prisms are nice. They're pretty nice. Still weak to stun. I'm not worried about that for this testing, but I will worry about that when I use him in arena, because I definitely want to try him in arena with a full damage focused build. And I do have a few plans which I do want to try out, but I don't know if I'll do that yet. Have to see. So let's try him out. What arc should I equip? Well, for now, Counselor 10's a good testing arc, so I'll just use that for now. And then we'll see how he does. So, what am I expecting? I think damage from his skills aren't going to be that high. That's what I think. His support attack isn't going to do anything because he's the only unit in the team, and when he uses skills, the support attack will never go off, so yeah. This is mostly just going to be showcasing his skills. Skill stocks are 432, which are pretty good. I want to test how fast he can spam his skills. So let's start with skill 1 first. That's pretty good. That's pretty fast, honestly. Skill 2. That's pretty good too, that's pretty fast. Skill 3. You know, all of those skills are pretty fast, honestly. They could be spammed quite a lot, especially this one. My ears. 24,000 damage. Not the best, but not terrible.
All enemies silenced.
Cool. Yeah, that kind of reminds me of Murren, honestly. It's pretty similar to Murren. He just gets out the mech unit and just cleans it, I think. Might try that again. And then I definitely want to try out his support attack from his trait as well. Best way to do that, probably just use another support unit in the team. 13 hits. 13. 13. Okay, that doesn't pierce. This one does. Okay. There's no more attack. Okay. Well, you know, I like this because it does... It's very similar to what it was like in the game. It was like a bullet hell. I like it. I mean, it's nothing crazy yet, but...
All enemies silenced.
it does very much remind me of Murren, but it's not Murren. Let's try the support attack thing. And how am I going to do that? Well, trying to think of a good way. I want to see if, like, Tharia can work. Because... I'll give you my reason. Because I can use a skill 1, and I can just see how much damage.
Detected.
Just use it. That's only on the current unit, right, okay, fine. I'll just use Glass Record then, that's fine. So I'll be using her skill 1. Focus on that guy. I think I saw that go off. I don't know if that was... That attack is hard to tell, but basically his support attack is... He shoots missiles. Which is that attack. Which is fun. That's pretty good. Can it even work if I use like a non-attacking skills? It's hard to see the damage numbers because it's so fast. Go. That's not terrible damage, but it's not the best either. Yeah, that damage, 25,000-ish. That was just a skill 3, I think. Okay, well, at least at the moment, it seems like all of his skills and his attack from his trait seem similar in terms of damage at the moment. And basically, when other units in the team use skills, then he will also use... He will do the support attack. Now what I'm going to try is if I were to use the rear support skills which don't attack the unit, is NieR still going to trigger the thing from his trait or not? That's just something I want to test for the sake of trying. Because why not? So I can just walk over here and then target like you, and then yeah, I don't think it's going to work, but I had to try it. That doesn't count as attack. None of these counts as an attack until I do this. And then it shoots the missiles out. Makes sense. So it needs to actually be an attack. There you go, 21,000. There is a timer, so I can't just spam this. 20,000, 21,000. It's not terrible. There's more missiles. It's doing pretty good. Kinda like it. There's more missiles. Okay, well, I get that. So, there are ways to increase the damage from it, and I'm probably going to try that. Because I do have a few ideas for it. So I think, let's have a look first. I don't know if I have everything taught yet, but if I wanted to increase his support attack damage from his traits, then the only real skills I can think of increasing that damage at the moment is fire attack raise and critical ups, and hope that crits work. But I don't know if they will. I hope they do, but I don't know. We'll have to see. It's very hard to see the attacks because it's quite fast. So if I just focus on crits, I want to see if it crits. It should do. Yeah, fire attack raise will be useful. Fire critical raise, why not? And then I just want to try this again. Just to see if it can crit, which it should. Maybe. I don't know. Worth testing.
Enemy detected.
I definitely want to try him out in arena at some point, but can't do that yet. I don't think it can crit. I didn't see it crit yet. I don't see any crits from this. Yeah, no crits because since it counts as an arc. Yeah, since it counts as an arc damage skill, it doesn't crit. So there's one thing to note. It can't crit at all. Yeah, okay. No big crit numbers then, which makes sense, because he doesn't have any crit in his kit, so that does save some SC a lot. So you don't need crit at all. So the only other alternatives would be fire attack raise, and that's the only thing I can think of right now, which is weird. Because I hope there's more ways to increase his damage from his trait. If it counts as a fire arc skill damage, then only fire damage skills are going to apply. So for that reason, a fire attack raise, I don't think there's anything else that's going to apply to it. I don't have everything taught yet. Yeah, drive skills and stuff won't work. Sky High will, so that's very important. Surprise attack might. I'll try that. I'll see if this works. None of this stuff's gonna work. Extra attack boost, I don't think so. Well, maybe. Maybe. Reason being is he's got the skill further down here somewhere, which gives it more hits. So technically, that would apply to it, right? I would like to think so. Combo Master would work, but it's not really reliable at all. None of that will work. Yeah, there isn't really much else that can increase the damage of it. Well, kinda sucks, but makes sense in a way. I think the best ways to increase his damage of his trait support attack is going to be arcs and equipment and units and not skills. Yeah, so this boost hit count, I don't know if this counts as an extra attack or if it just boosts the hit count and doesn't count as an extra attack. I don't know, because if it could count as an extra attack, then you could put on extra attack boost and give those 10% more damage, but I don't know. Maybe not. Let's try this again to see the damage
Detected.
this time. Difference, this time I put on Sky High, and I'm trying
I got this.
backstab and stuff. I don't think they went in the air though. Okay, well, it's really hard to tell. It's very hard to tell. I saw that. Yeah, that fire attack raise 1, 2, 3 is going off whenever she uses her skill 1. I'm just waiting for Rhea to use her skill 1. Sky High does apply to it as well. Good 2 notes. I'm not seeing anything like backstab or surprise attack, but it might just be because... Oh yeah, surprise attack, there you go. Okay, good. I like this. Good to note. So, surprise attack works, Sky High works, fire attack raise obviously works. All of those are ways to increase his damage of his support attack from his trait. So if I have a look at what I've got so far, this is kind of the best way, like the only ways I can think of at the moment, with skills is to boost the damage. Backstab and surprise attack will apply to his attack from his trait, but it is going to be difficult to get those backstabs. But hear me out, I have an idea, which is he's going to be a long range unit anyways, so he's not going to be in the middle of battle. So what you would want is have a lot of minus allure stack, so give him draw less enemy attention, try and do that as much as possible with him, and then shove him at the back in your team and have one melee unit like 2p up and close in the enemy's face and try and go behind the enemy's team, and then all the enemies will focus on 2p, and that means all of their backs will be turned to Shift 9S, and then he should be able to get the surprise attack and backstabs off, hopefully. Sounds decent. Sounds good to me. These aren't very reliable, but it's good that they can work. These, Sky High and Sky High 2, definitely have those on if you're focusing on his support attack trait and fire attack raise. For the moment, can't really think of any other ways, at least with skills alone, unless there's a few skills I haven't learnt yet. I don't know, but that's just for now. I can increase it a lot more, and I want to go over that very soon. I may try an arena team focused on that soon. For now, for the moment, I'm going to try a full physical DPS build for Shift 9S, and then I kind of want to try them out in arena and mess around with a few ideas that I've got, because I do have some ideas that I definitely want to try, and one of them includes Suzaku, because of his trait 2 giving Fire, Ice, Earth and Thunder attack damage. That buff is going to apply to Shift 9S trait, so that's fun. I don't think this will work, but like, I really want to make a team where it can focus heavily on Shift 9S support attack from his trait, because that could be fun. He's probably not going to be amazing, but
Yeah.
worth a try. So, now, let's just probably use this team then to try him out with full damage and see how he performs with his physical skills, because his skills could be pretty solid too. I'm quite surprised with 2P and how good her skills are, because she can do damage with her skills without even being built for it.
Enemy detected.
So let's do it like 3 times. First time I'll spam his skill 1, second time skill 2, third time will be a skill 3, and then we'll see the difference in all 3 of his skills to see how they perform. Go. Okay, 92,000's pretty solid, and he did kill them all pretty fast, so that was pretty good, honestly. And that can be increased. So some people may be thinking his damage cap looks very low, and they are. It is quite low, but his skills are very fast, so it's not that big of a deal, and you can increase his damage caps from a lot of different ways, so you can increase it. At the moment this is just base skills with a few damage modifiers, but they don't really matter for damage caps. So his damage caps can be increased further, but Lelouch and Expert and the arcs I have do boost his damage cap a bit more. Now let's try skill 2 this time and see how that does. This should be interesting. How good is this? Oh, that was really fast. Wait. Expert, you... How? I don't know. Well, that was great. His skill 2 definitely seems to perform a lot better than his skill 1, which makes sense. Now the question is, does his skill 3 perform better than his skill 2? I don't think so. I think his skill 2 definitely could be his best skill, because his skill 2 just seems pretty fast. I like it. Reminds me of, like, Alice skill 2, quite similar. Very fast. Let's try skill 3. I didn't know what happened because Lelouch kind of stole everything. So I'm gonna have to try that again, but... yeah. I'll just get him to use debuffs instead. Skill 3, I think because of the hits, skill 3 can be pretty good.
Enemy detected.
Stop using your thing. Okay, that's not as great. It's still decent, and it does pierce all the enemies. At long range, it's okay, but his skill 2 definitely seems like his best skill. If you want to use him as a physical DPS, you could do that. Just focused heavily on his skill 2, because that seems like his best skill for sure, at least from the testing I've done. So, that's all the testing I want to do for the moment in PvE. There isn't really too much to test in PvE, because you don't really need to know how well they perform in PvE if most units can beat PvE content and there isn't much to do. So where it's the most important is arena and guild battles. So I think I'm going to spend some time to have a look at arena. So, one thing I want to do first is I want to try out this team that I've been messing around with. This is a team focused heavily on 2P's damage. Isn't my main team, I just use this for fun, and it worked pretty well, so I'm just going to show how this performs against someone. And then I want to try a different team focused on Shift 9S main damage, which will be interesting. Make sure it's not on auto. Good. So the main focus of this team is just 2P needs to get hit. That's it. I just stand here, stand still, do nothing, and wait. Not pressing the screen right now. Wait for things to die. Things are dying. Not doing anything. Zekus is helping out quite a lot too, though. Touch me. Thanks for touching me. You're dead now. So, my 2P is built for full counter damage and tanking physical damage, so this pretty, like, 2P is such a broken unit right now because counter is its own damage type, and what that means is every tank in the game can't survive 2P because they don't tank counter damage, and her counter damage is so ridiculously high. She hit 59,899 damage from her counter, which is damage cap on her counters. Which is fun. It's amazing. And what makes it so funny is you can just walk over to the enemy, sit there and do nothing, don't use anything, and let the enemy attack you. And when the enemy attacks you, you have a chance to counter, and her counter does ridiculous damage and just kills everything. So she is, in my opinion, the most broken unit right now in terms of PvP meta, because she just destroys everything in the game because of her counter not counting as physical damage. It just kills everything. And I can also try, like, against a tank team if I really wanted to. I mean, I'll do one more, and then I'll go over to Shift 9S and try him out a bit. So yeah, this is more of a tank team, right? I can just walk over here, get hit, do nothing. Not doing anything now. I'm just gonna don't even turn on auto, that's a bad thing. You just want to sit here, do nothing, and get slapped all the time. And everything's eventually gonna die. So, this is the strategy I've been using, and as you can see, it's working very well. And I had a lot of fun with this. I just find it very funny. Like, incredibly funny. So funny. Everyone's just dying because I'm getting hit. Like, you hit me, you're gonna get dead. There you go. See that, I'm even cursed right now. I can't even use skills. I'm getting hit, counter damage. Hilarious. I'm just gonna sit here, do nothing for the rest of the battle. And there you go, Gorm's dead. Renner's dead, 2P's dead. Oh, this is so great. This is so broken at the same time. I can't believe they made this. Yeah, this is utterly broken right now. Like, it's not broken in terms of it's too overpowered and, you know, it's more of, it's just incredibly strong and just ridiculous how strong it is compared to everything else right now. And the fact that nothing can really counter this is just hilarious. So all of that damage was just from 2P. and all I did in that battle was just sit there, walk over to the enemy, sit there, do nothing, not even pressing the screen, not even turning on auto, and she's just countering all the hits and killing everything. So that's very fun, and that's something that we have to deal with now, so good luck with that. Guild battles, even worse. She's ridiculous. So that's 2 key, and if you don't already get it, she's so strong. It's ridiculous how strong she is because she just kills everything. And she's like one of the top PvP units right now because of the fact that counter is its own damage type and that she can kill tanks in like one counter. Even units like Garland and such, but it depends. I have her built for multiple counters. If her trait counter activates, then it's going to do more, but her counter damage is still just very funny. So what I want to try next is, I have a plan, and this won't work very well at all, but I just want to do this for fun. And this is going to be a fire team, and I have an idea. So we're going to be doing a full fire team and seeing how this goes. So number 1 going to be Claude. Number 2 is going to be obviously Shift 9S. And then number 3 can be Eliza. Number 4 can be Senku. So this team is built for as much damage as possible for his trait. And you'll see why I think this will be amazing. But I want to just see how this performs first of all. So, Arc. This is a full fire team, by the way, so full fire team means this arc. Fire attack power boosted based on number of fire skill units in the party. Right now it's plus 41%, but if it was level 15 it would be plus 45%. This would be the best the best arc to have on him, only if you have a full fire team. And he needs to have another physical DPS unit in the team. That's why I'm using Claude for this one, because he's also a fire unit. So that will be good. I'm going to be doing a manual on Claude, while 9S is in the back, probably doing support skills or something, or his own skills. Haven't decided yet. Eliza's just going to be doing like Meteor Rain, or actually Hellfire, Ultra Fire Hell Spirit Victory, because she's already built for that. And I want her to use her anima, because her anima is going to apply to obviously 9S trait, because reducing their fire resistance comes in handy. Now, why am I using Senku, you may ask? Well, because of his trait giving more fire damage, so that's the only reason, and he could be used as a support. I don't think this is the best idea, but it can increase 9S damage even further, so I was like, why not? I don't know what build I want for him right now. He's just going to be like the healer in the team, basically. That's what I'm thinking for the moment. So, how am I going to build this team? Well, Eliza doesn't really need to be built at all, because she's already got everything that I kind of want already. She can just have a revive, and that's all I need. And then Claude is mostly already built. We just have to build 9S. So I'm not going to build him fully. I'm just going to be building for as much fire damage as possible and trying to make him tanky, maybe. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment, but I don't know yet. Maybe he could have good skill damage too, but he's not even level 110 yet. So I don't know how good this will do. Probably not at all, but let's see. So, skill cost. I'm going to be sparring myself just to see how this performs, because I don't know how it's going to do against other people's teams yet. And I don't want to waste my attacks for the moment. So I'm just only going to be putting in range defense and nothing else for his plug-in ships. Equipment, obviously his paid, going to be the best options for as much trait damage, support attack damage as possible. I do want to have some stun resistance, that's pretty important. So I'm going to be putting on a revive accessory just in case. This one. Then the second one can be, I don't know. Maybe they'll have minus fire resistance. So for that reason, I could put on this. That may work. Sure. Now for skills, I don't have all of my skills from my arcs learnt on him yet, but from the testing that I did earlier, we're going to be doing the same kind of build, just focusing on like sky high, backstab, stuff like that, fire attack raise, and that's kind of it. And everything else doesn't really matter, because nothing else can really increase his damage for his trait. So I'll probably just build him a support, and all of his damage will be from his trait alone. I think that'll be fun. That's what I'm going to go with for the moment. So let's see, what's the best way to do this? Awaken, fire attack or raise. Fire attack damage to enemies in feint or break, not going to be that handy. Enemies don't really feint in arena, most of the time anyways. Don't really need anything here. Sky high as a surprise attack and backstab. Yep. Terramouth, you could have like an element team, have like V or something, maybe, but I'm not going to do that for now. Beast Repellent's pretty important, I think, because he's not going to be a tank here. Well, what else? Don't know if there's anything else. Decoy, Combat Master, I'm not going to use that. I think the rest of the skills can basically just be tank skills, can't they? Maybe. Potentially. So I don't know if his support attack from his trait will trigger a counter or not. I don't know. I hope not. I'm not sure. Resonance barrier on him. Gaze of the End, I could do that. Sure. Anything else? Not really. I think that's it. That just in case. And there we go. So I didn't really put much on him, honestly. Most of this is just to help him survive a little bit, supportive skills, and then the only damage skills that really apply is backstab, sky high, fire attack, raise. There isn't really anything else that can apply to his trait. Everything else can just be... I'm not going to make a perfect team, so I don't need to make it perfect, so I guess I can just roll with that for the moment. I think the rest of the SC I'll just shove on to HP. This won't be perfect. This isn't my final build, this is only for the showcase, just to test it out. So that's his build for the moment. Yeah, go ahead and attack me. My defense has been working a bit. Very nice. You know, I kind of want to show something, but I don't have it because it's on my phone. I managed to get 2p to hit 969,000 damage, which was crazy in arena. Not from one skill, but like in the damage report. That was pretty funny. So I don't know if I want Suzaku for this, because yes, it can increase his damage even further, but it may just be a better idea to have Rena, because Suzaku isn't really built yet, so it's probably a bad idea to use him for now. Considering it though, he can be the healer in the team, or I can just use Rena instead. Which Rena would be a better... Yeah, I think I'll use Rena just because she makes it a lot easier to... Yeah, just for this team for now. It will still work well. He will still get quite a lot from that arc, so it's fine. So, let's see. This team should be fine. What skills is he going to be using? I don't really want him to use any skills. I think I'm going to go with Spell Render. That seems okay. Maybe. This? Fine. Maybe. Probably. I want to try this. So Claude is going to be the main damage dealer here. Eliza may be able to kill something with that, but she's mainly for the anima. NieR is going to be mainly, his damage is going to be for this trait here. So I want to see how this does. I don't think it's going to be good. I don't expect it to, but surprise me. I'm going to just spar myself. So, let's see. Manual, since I'm on Spell Render, who do I want to attack? Well, if I attack 2P right now, I'm just gonna die. Fine. I didn't die. I'm almost dead. NieR died. It's hard to really see. Oh, she died. From who? Don't really know. This is hard. It's really hard to see what's going on. Well, we'll have a look at the damage numbers once this battle's finished. I think most of the damage is probably going to be Claude, isn't it? I saw that. That was nice. Honestly, don't know at the moment how much damage he's doing. He's just dying at the moment, which isn't great. Well. Revive him. The only reason why I'm doing this is just to see how much damage NieR can do. Let's go to Rena. Use a skill 2. She died. What happened? Oh yeah, right. Okay. Let's have a look at the damage numbers. Damage report. Did he do anything? Yes, he did. That's not bad. So he was able to do damage there. 97,000 damage, he did. Interesting. I didn't think he would do that much, but that's okay. It could be higher from using Senku, but for now, this is fine. Skill 2. I could get him to spam like Giga Week or something. Maybe. Fine. We'll put on Giga Week and see if he uses it at all. And then I'm just grabbing at someone and see how this team goes. Because I don't think this team is perfect, but gives me a good idea of how much damage NieR can do. If I were to use NieR without these supports to buff him, I'll probably try that soon as well. Huh. Yeah, one thing I need is definitely more stacks of like minus allure stacks, because he gets slapped a lot, so it's quite... Yeah. Because I don't really have a tank in this team right now. Can you do some healing? Well, I haven't tested him too much, but so far seems pretty good, but I haven't tested him a lot. 2P definitely better because of how game-breaking she is right now. Okay. I'm gonna die. Let me do this. Right, yeah. See, I expect to die, but I wanted to test this team out. So he can't do anything when he's by himself. He only works when someone else, like, reason why Claude is in this team right now. Oh, he actually killed Sarah? Well, that was interesting. But I'm gonna die now. Because of 2P, 100%. But I expect that to happen. There you go, because it's Eliza. Eliza's not the best option for this. I'm gonna try a different kind of team. And I think this team gonna focus more on him by himself. How much damage? 57. Kind of similar to Eliza. It's not terrible. What I want to try now instead is a more typical team instead of a fire-focused team. So, what's the plan for this one? I think I'll probably use a similar team to my first main team, which will be NieR. I still want him in the team. This time 9S won't do as much, but he should work. Well, here's the thing. They are both great units, and honestly, 2P is game-breaking. Only if you care about PvP. 2P is game-breaking for PvP. She's great. She's like, so broken right now. But that 2P is the one unit you should probably get from this collab. At least at the moment. She's great, but there is another collab coming, so you don't really need... You could wait. Just in case. Which may be the better idea. Might roll with this team. And then attack the same guy again, probably. Just to see if it performs better. But here's what my idea for this is. So NieR is going to do the majority of the damage, and then if an enemy is low on health and NieR doesn't manage to kill them in that one skill that she uses, then 9S should be able to finish him off with his support attack from his trait 1. That's kind of the idea. So it's not focused on only 9S damage, he's like a support role in this team, so this may perform a lot better. And I'm not relying on a full fire team, so this may do better. I think it will. He's just going to be the same. NieR's just focused on as much damage as possible. Just fun. She can have... She should probably have a revive, but... Just been giving her as much damage as possible. Fine, I'll use that one then, and then we'll try it again. Yep. I want to attack the same guy again, if possible, just to kind of see a difference, but in this team, definitely 9S would be the side damage dealer support unit. Main damage dealer support, kind of like a sub DPS mage healer, you know. I think it could work. Potentially, but I'm definitely going to mess around with this a lot more later. So for this, now I can just easily do NieR. Skill 1. Amazing. Now my hope is that... Oh yeah, I forgot I don't have a tank in this team, so this is gonna suck. I'm not very smart. I really need to change my allure. Oh, that gives me a good point. If I could make 9S the tank, this team would work. Good point. I don't know what happened. Yeah, this team doesn't work without a tank. So, I think an alternative would be using... 2P could be a tank, right? Instead. Or just use like a Garland instead. I could see the damage report, I should do that, but I don't think it really did much at all. Did it? He did a bit. Like, he still does some. But I think this team... I would have to replace Zekers for a tank. I think I would have to do that. And that tank would have to be someone like, Garland instead. You know, Garland, he's fire, so that kind of goes very well. It's pretty good. I could go without a healer, but I don't think that's smart at all. Yeah. I think this would work better. Right. And they can use his support magic, expand that. Yeah. This would work better. I'll try spar myself this time. Need to have a tank. What I was doing before was using 2P as the tank, which was working very well. So let's see, how much can I do to a 2P? Not enough. Oh, okay, I see, okay, I get it. So the support attack from 9S trait can be countered. So there's something to think about, is it can be countered. Good point. Okay, well, I tried that. Now I can do this. Okay. You know, it's pretty good. I can see him doing damage here. But you have to wait a few seconds for him to activate again. Like, he activated that time. It did decent damage. Got Sarah to half health, but she's healed anyway, so it's not like that matters at all. It's not terrible, but it's not the best either. Like, him, just in this team alone, he can do something, but like, it's not perfect. I'll try this again, one more time. I definitely think, so far, it looks like he's more of a support, obviously, but he's not going to be someone that can kill a unit by himself. Garland should be taking most of the hits here, but I didn't put him in the right spot, honestly. I should have put Garland in a different spot. Like, he needs to be in the middle so Mia doesn't get slapped, which he is. But if nobody's using skills, then nobody can trigger his... you're gonna kill Mia for sure. Okay. Interesting.
Here we go.
Okay. It's going better at least, and the main difference was the tank. I just needed a tank and it works. Surprise. You know, the funny thing is that 9S can sometimes kill. If I were to use a skill 3 on you, I would die, but I'm tempted. Let's do it. Yeah, obviously that'll happen. That was a test. I don't really care about losing because rank doesn't matter, so, like, whatever, at this point. Definitely interested to see the numbers at the end, for sure. I keep dying terribly. It's still because I put her in the wrong spot. And then you kill Vayne. Yeah. Someone did, at least. There you go. Well, that worked better. Only reason is because I had a tank. I don't think 9S can be a tank, honestly. But he wasn't built specifically for a tank, so... there's a difference. This time... yeah... so... Mia obviously doing most of the damage, but you can see 9S damage not terrible, and I wasn't even building a full team focused on his damage alone, so that's not bad. He is basically just adding to the damage that the unit's doing, and one thing that I saw that was very funny is when Mia targeted a unit and used her skill 1, 9S attack from his trait attacked that enemy before Mia's skill 1 even hit the enemy, which was funny. So Mia goes in the air, 9S attacks the unit that Mia was targeting, and then Mia uses skill 1. It's kind of like a combo thing going on, which is pretty fun. So it doesn't seem that game breaking, honestly. It seems solid. I want to do some more testing with it, for sure. With like the full fire team and the Suzaku and stuff like that could be fun, but I don't think it's made for a main damage dealer. The damage is okay, it's just not enough to be a main damage dealer from this trait, so I haven't tried him as a DPS in Arena yet, a damage dealer for his skills in Arena, but I don't expect that to be a lot. I think his main use will be from the support attack from his trait, and it's pretty good. I just think this from his trait isn't going to be the main source of damage, it's going to be like a sub DPS / support. So I think if he could be built as like a healer or support or something, I think his role is going to be a lot better, because he's going to be able to add in some damage when your main physical damage dealer targets an enemy and uses a skill. He's going to be able to do some damage on top of that, which won't count as physical damage, so that can help with finishing off an enemy or something, so I think it's good. I just don't think it's that crazy, like how 2P is right now. So, yeah. That was fun. That was okay. I will want to try out this team very soon. Actually, I probably want to put Garland in instead of someone. Do I even need a mage? I could just put Garland instead of Eliza, but Eliza's anima helps. I like her anima. Or I could just not have Suzaku and just have Garland instead. And then he can have the Rainical. Something like this may work too, but I'm gonna need to try this out because I don't know if it's gonna work. But I'm gonna mess around with a team like this. I'm just gonna try it. I'll do one more test here. See if it can increase his damage even more. Because the big difference is if he can kill a unit. But he didn't kill 2p that time. Wish it did. Okay. He still doesn't do as much damage as I was hoping, but it's still solid.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Sarah died somehow. Not having a healer really sucks.
Won't get away.
Okay, well everyone's dying, which is expected, but doesn't matter, because I'm sparring anyway. Wait for NieR to revive, and then I can use a skill, and then he's going to use his tray attack. I want to see the damage report at the end of this. Yeah, now Eli's going to die and we're going to lose, which is fine, because I expect that to happen. I want it to happen. Do it! Okay. I still think most of that felt like Claude's damage, but it's hard to tell because when you're targeting an enemy and hitting them, NieR also targets that enemy, so... Yeah, like, it's not... His damage is not that crazy, honestly, and it could be a lot higher. I think the best play for him so far seems like not a main damage dealer. He's going to have to play the support role because main damage dealer for him won't be enough. That's just what it seems like for the moment. And to really enforce that fact, I could just use anyone to do no damage. And just to really see how much damage he alone does by himself, but I did try that earlier, but not in arena yet. Could just do this for the memes. Fine. This will really see how much damage he does. So Senku is not even built at all. I just want to use like a skill 1 against someone, and then all the damage is basically going to be from 9S. That didn't really do much. And then I need to wait for that, and then if I use this it should... Yeah, that didn't do much at all. You know... I could always use like yeah, it doesn't really do a whole lot, does it? No. Well, I'm gonna die. I just want to see the damage numbers at the end of this. Wait. Wait. And now... Go. Okay, that was some damage. Huh. Go. Okay, he does some damage. Like, it's not enough to kill the units, that's the problem. But it's something. Go away, leave me alone. Yeah, it's some damage, but it's not enough. And this is literally a full team focused on his damage alone, so... Don't kill him. I want to be able to do this. Well, there you go. Well, let's see the damage numbers on that. So basically all the damage should be from Eliza and 9S, right? Which is not a whole lot. Right. Okay. So his damage is not that crazy, as you can see. Him as the main damage dealer does not work. Like, using just any unit to use their skill, just so 9S can do his damage, doesn't work. And that makes sense, because I didn't think it would work, I just wanted to see how much damage he does by himself. Which is not as much as you would hope, but the fact is, his support attack counts as arc skill damage, so enemies won't be able to resist it, which is the difference. So I definitely think it's going to be useful. The one thing I don't know if it does, if it can an enemy guard it or anything. Dunno. Maybe. This team definitely don't work. I think the team I was using earlier with like a one main damage dealer, him as a support, and then one tank, definitely gonna work best. Like this type of team gonna work best, I think. Something like this at least. Actually, I think having a 2P instead of Garland would definitely work. I'll probably come up with one more team and then I'll finish up soon. So if I put Bunker on you, you can have you and use this. And then this could work nicely. So a team like this could work too. So I got Mia as the main damage dealer, 9S as the support who's gonna do most of the damage from his trait, one support attack, and then 2P is gonna be the tank, doing most of the damage with counter, and then Renner can be the healer. A team like this, I think, could be very nice too. So, kind of want to see how this does as well. We'll try one more. This should perform better, because I feel like having one main damage dealer does work a lot better, for sure. It's just 2P on auto is kind of dumb. I want 9S to do as much damage as possible and kill stuff. I think 9S is mostly going to be one to finish them off, honestly. Yeah, right now 2P is just destroying on auto. So Mia's not even needed right now. That's funny. Okay. That was pretty good, honestly. That felt a lot better. What's the damage like? Yeah, this is kind of what I expected. So Mia is going to be your main like manual damage dealer. 2P is going to be the tank with the crazy counter damage, doing crazy numbers as always. 9S doesn't do that much, but he still contributes to the team's damage a tiny bit. It's not the best. Like, I probably don't have the best build on him for sure, but he can still do some damage, and definitely a better build that I don't have him built for yet, so, you know, could be better. Kinda want to try sparring someone else, but I'm gonna leave it here for now. Would he fit in any of my teams? I don't know. For the moment, I think he's probably going to perform better in guild battles, honestly, because if you're using him plus another physical DPS, if that physical DPS unit uses a skill, then they should be doing a lot of damage, and then 9S can do damage on top of that, and that's both going to be single target damage against one enemy, so it's pretty good, honestly. One thing I could try is something like 2P not allowed to use skills. If I were to put on Divine Rights, maybe that would work better for me. Might try that actually. Sounds like a good idea. At least for Arena. Yeah. One more SC. Damn it. It sucks when that happens. Well. Yeah, I think that would be good. So, I think I've done all my testing that I want to for the moment. We've been here for quite a while. It's been 2 hours, 20 something minutes. I didn't think it would take that long, honestly, but honestly, I say the same words too often. 9S, pretty solid. I'll do my conclusion in a second, I guess. I'll probably just finish off with one more battle, I think. Just bar a random person. Well, 9S died. Sad. If I target over there, it's gonna go terribly wrong, but I wanna do it for fun. Go. Okay. Expected. Yeah, obviously. That was pretty good. Nice. That was good. Probably mostly Mia though, and 2P. That's my guess. Looks like a yes. That rhymes too. Well, we're gonna die horribly probably. Whenever I die, it's usually from 2P. That was nice. Yeah, that was 2P. Do any damage this time, 9S? A little bit, yeah. I'm seeing definitely a theme here, where 9S doesn't do a whole lot by himself. Like, he just contributes a little bit to the team, and that's about it. So, yeah. I think I understand a lot more now. I get it. So, I guess my conclusion for part 2 for the moment. 2P, definitely going to be the main unit in this collab for sure. 2P with her counters does insane damage. It's ridiculous how strong 2P is right now. She can be built as a tank. She can tank physical damage pretty well. And her counters just do insane damage right now. 9S, Shift 9S pretty good too, but I don't think he's as good as 2P. He is going to play the support role a lot better than the damage dealer role, I think. And that's just from my testing so far. And in Arena, his damage wasn't that crazy. His damage from his traits, not too much, honestly, unless I could increase it further, which I don't know how I could. I tried to increase it as much as I could, and it still didn't do as much as I was hoping. It couldn't really kill anyone, but I don't think that's its main purpose. I think that its main purpose will be you have a main physical damage unit in the team, and 9S will kind of chip in a bit of damage to help finish off that unit that your main damage dealer is trying to kill. So that's kind of where I think I'm at with 9S right now. Seems very solid. I still need to build him a lot more because mine's only level 100 and I don't even have a proper build yet. I was just having a basic build and trying him out just for fun. He still seemed to work okay, honestly, and his damage definitely going to help towards the team because his damage doesn't count as physical damage, so I think it'll be pretty good. And potentially in guild battles he's going to be great too, so could be a great unit. I don't know if he can play the role of a tank, but I need to build him more to really test that out properly, so that's going to be something I need to do later. So yeah, from this collab, I definitely think these two units very strong. 2P's the best one here for sure. The bunker arc is very good too, so honestly I think this collab's pretty good. I like this collab just because it's like my favorite collab in this game, because NieR Automata is one of my favorite series, so I like this collab a lot. But 2P's crazy. I showed you a bit of her today in Arena, and her counter damage is just ridiculous. It's so crazy right now, and it's a big problem, especially in guild battles. So, can't say much more than that. She's just crazy. Garland's banner's still here. He is a great unit, honestly. This banner is great. And now I think about it, everything that has released recently has been strong for PvP content, some-wise. Like, Zekus and Garland are both very good in PvP, as well as 2P and potentially 9S. They're all good for Arena and guild battles, so it's quite funny how many units they've been releasing focused on PvP content. Quite funny. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Overall, I think this collab, I enjoyed it probably more than most people just because I like this collab a lot. But what also adds to it is the fact that 2P is so crazy, and she kind of adds something new to the game, being a viable counter unit. This is kind of the first time we've ever had a viable counter unit with 2P, and she's just so crazy. You must try to get her. if you care about PvP at all. You're going to be seeing her a lot and dying by her a lot, so be careful about seeing her in any way you go. She's going to be very dangerous to battle against. She's going to kill everything. You don't have a tank that can survive her, so gotta think about that. NieR, I've still got to do more testing with him, but so far he doesn't seem as good as 2P. Definitely not, but I think he will find a place. His DPS should be okay, should be decent, especially if you focus on his DPS, it's going to be good. And the extra damage from his trait is definitely going to add to the team a little bit, so I think that's nice. And anything else? Well, don't think there's really much else. I think NieR is not going to be a main focus damage dealer. Definitely going to be more of a support, which can help with damage with the team. So instead of buffing the team's damage, he basically has the fire support attack, which, I mean, it's kind of unique, it's kind of fun. I think it's going to be good. I do want to do more testing with him, try him out in some more arena teams, learn some more skills on him, just to see how he performs there. And yeah, I think I'll leave it there. Overall, very good collab in my opinion. Best things from this collab, 2P and the bunker arc, and also the Songstress arc is the #1 thing you should trade for. Make sure to get this, it's very good. And those are the 3 things I think that are quite good. Bunker isn't really on that end, but I think Songstress and 2P are probably the top 2, so I recommend get those 2 if you can. So, that's going to be it for me. Been 2 hours 30 minutes of me talking. I always get tired after these streams, honestly. Takes a long time. Not used to talking this long. Next week is going to be the time trial. That should be interesting. If you don't remember, the time trial for the first NieR Automata Collab had a new type of time trial where you had to build like 3 different teams, which was fun. So it may be something similar to that, which would be interesting, but honestly, I haven't really been focusing on time trials that much recently. I've just been chilling with, you know, enjoying the game and doing PvP and stuff like that, because worrying about time trials, don't really enjoy that, so I've just been chilling with them. And considering so many people have, like, iOS devices perform better than Android, and I only have Android, so my device is kind of at a disadvantage. It kind of sucks, but I have to deal with that. So yeah, I will see you in 2 weeks. That's pretty nice. More crystals. That's why you do stuff. I'll see you in 2 weeks, because in 2 weeks from now there should be the slime collab, which I don't know what's going to bring. That's going to bring, but make sure to save crystals just in case. What I would recommend is probably get 2P if you can. If you do get her, then probably just save everything else and hope to get something from tickets, and then save for the slime collab just in case, because that's going to be in 2 weeks. So got a lot of stuff to look forward to. Another collab after this, and then probably Christmas event potentially. Maybe not that soon, I don't know, I haven't looked, but a lot of stuff to still look forward to and do. So yeah, great collab. Can't say much more. I think I've said everything. Guild battles have been pretty fun. We had one guild battle recently. 2P was pretty crazy. All I can say about that. The event, nothing extra to add on top of the event. Another basic event. So yeah. I will add the timestamps very soon. I will do more testing with NieR in the next 2 weeks, and I'll probably be back. Well, I'll definitely be back 2 weeks from now for the next collab, which should be the slime collab, so that'll be fun. So yeah, I'll see you then.